Welcome. I'm so glad that you are here to join us for our Purification webinar. My name is Lynn Morales, and I'm a naturopath and a wellness specialist here in the Plano, Texas area, which is near Dallas-Fort Worth. I know we have some people from other parts of the country on the webinar. Just want to welcome you from our various time zones. We're so glad that you're able to join us. I'm super excited to share this information with you. This is a fabulous time to take advantage of our program, and we're going to share some details on that later on. Before we get started, I do want to share with you that I am not here to offer medical advice. Anything that I'm sharing with you is for information purposes only. I am not here to diagnose, cure, or treat anything. So just simply sharing information. So I'm super glad that you're here to get the information. You know, when we talk about issues that may be going on with our bodies, sometimes people don't realize that maybe tired's become a way of life, or challenges with weight loss has become a way of life, or even poor digestion. And some people might say, oh, you're just getting old. But the reality is, there's some lifestyle changes that probably need to be made. And by purifying your body, that is one way to do it. And you can actually just, transform your life literally by doing that. And it doesn't have to be a way of life to be tired all the time or to have weight loss challenges. Sometimes, people don't even understand that, what poor digestion is. As a concern, if you actually, have gas issues periodically after eating, if you belch a lot, if you feel pain underneath the breastbone or heartburn, if you're constipated, those are signs of digestion issues. And maybe you don't know that. I'll tell you, some people don't realize you're supposed to have, a few bowel movements a day. And that may come as a shock, but that's the reality. And I love it when people say, oh yeah, I have normal digestion. I have a bowel movement, once every 3 days. And you're like, oh my gosh, that's not normal. If you think about it, you take in food, and as you take in food, the reality is that food, what comes in needs to, waste needs to come out. So really, for every meal, if you have 3 meals a day, you should be having 3 bowel movements a day. And that may come as a shock to some of you that are hearing this webinar. And so just know that there are solutions to work on this. And if you're not where we're talking about right now, that doesn't mean you can't be there, in a few weeks. So, one of the questions people might ask is, why purification? And the reality is there's a lot of chemicals in our country. We use them every day, and we're going to see where they are, but they end up being in products that you're probably using every day. And we'll look at a complete list of that. But what happens is when these chemicals are in the picture, they impact body systems. And you see the 4 body systems specifically that are mentioned here. And maybe you're not very familiar with like the endocrine system. And that's the system with the pituitary, the thyroid, the adrenals, the pancreas. I mean, there's a few others, but bottom line is that's the one that manages a lot of the hormones, making sure that you have the right male and female hormones, but also so many of the other hormones like, hunger hormones and sleep hormones and things like that. And so when you talk about why do you need to purify, understand that there are things called endocrine disruptors. Yes, maybe you've never heard that term, but an endocrine disruptor is exactly that. It disrupts the endocrine system, the endocrine function, and it can lock on to different endocrine glands and literally cause the glands to not function the way they used to or were supposed to. Another one is something called obesogens. Now think about the breakdown of that word obesogen. You probably get that it might have a little bit to do with obesity, and you would be correct. Again, we talked about some of the hunger hormones and the satisfying hormones. Well, you can actually have a chemical that locks down on a hormone and can literally put on the stops or the brakes of your body being able to tell you when you're satisfied or when you should stop eating. And it's those kind of things that lead to concerns like obesity. So let's just talk about, what do toxins do to you anyway? Since maybe you didn't even know you were affected by the things going on outside or inside your home with different toxins. But these are some of the areas that they can impact. And maybe 1, 2, 4 of these areas are things that you have recognized in your own life. And sometimes there's other reasons for it. You need to know that. But the reality is it's very possible any one of these 5 might be actually due to toxins that need to be cleaned out of your system. So, this is a picture of Dallas Fort Worth and the skyline, and it looks like a pretty smoggy day there. And here are some of the things in your home, in your day-to-day life, maybe in your work environment that you aren't even aware are impacting you, that are part of the chemical environment that you live in. Just a few months back, we did a webinar on take the toxin out of cleaning, meaning out of the cleaning products you're using. You can access that on our training page where all of our webinars are available for playback. So these are just a sampling of some of the chemicals that might be impacting your world. So what exactly do they impact anyway in the body? Well, you actually have a few organs in the body, and they are there to assist. Now, you have a lot of organs, right? But these are a few organs that assist in the purification process. So maybe you know about the liver, maybe you've heard about it, maybe you know you only have one, and maybe you know you can't live without it, right? Liver's important. Some body parts and livers and organs you can live without. Liver's not one of them. And it helps to metabolize the building blocks of the cell. That would be carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and it also helps to get toxins out. Now, we're going to talk more about the liver in a moment. But let's move on to the kidneys. Now, maybe you have a couple of kidneys. You don't want to live without those really either. And having both of them is best. And when it comes to kidneys, they help purify the blood. So if you hadn't heard that, that's important. That helps to make sure there's a good balance of fluids in the body. In fact, when you don't have the right balance of fluids, or maybe you have fluid in the legs, or what people call edema, this could be a sign that you have some kidney stuff going on. And so it's important, and it's important to have the right balance of certain very important nutrients, sodium, phosphorus, potassium, for the body to function properly. And so that's the importance of what the kidneys bring to the picture. And now we talk about that digestive system. So I mentioned that earlier, talked a little bit about it. And the digestive system is super important. The small intestine is one aspect of it, and that's actually where you absorb your food. And you could actually have toxins that block off parts of the intestine. Intestine wall is actually where you absorb. You could have toxins that block off part of the intestinal wall, and that itself impacts you in a big way. That can keep nutrients from getting into the bloodstream, getting into the rest of the body that help keep you functioning from day to day. So then you've got the large intestine. Other people might call it the colon, right? And that's the important place to get nutrients in the proper place, but get the supply of waste sent out of the body. That's what we talked about earlier. You want to have regular bowel movements, and so that you're moving the waste out. So that's super important in the body. So imagine that, for that person who doesn't have regular bowel movements, picture like here in Texas, it's hot. We could put a steak on the sidewalk and cook it. Sometimes it can get so hot, right around 100 degrees, right? So imagine if you put a steak on the sidewalk and then that steak kind of sat there a while. And one of the things, it starts to cook, but imagine it sat there for a few days. And, after a few days, that might start to stink a little bit, right? So, would it be reasonable to think that here in Texas in the summertime or the hot months that we might get the temperature up above like 98 degrees? That's very likely, right? And so remember that your body temperature is 98.6 degrees. So if you have a 98-degree day and you put the steak outside and you leave it out there for a few days, it could start to stink. Okay, now let's go back to what we talked about earlier. Your body's 98.6, and what if you keep the waste of your food from the last 3 days in your 98.6 degree body and it doesn't move out on a regular basis? And you start to see the issue or the concern that we have with having smooth digestion, it working all the way through, and that you don't have some of the signs and symptoms that I mentioned earlier. Now let's talk about the liver, primary detox organ. Super, super important. One of the things, about the liver is that it's got these detox pathways. There are actually 11 of them. And oftentimes with chemicals, you can actually block a detox pathway. Now that is a shame because when you block a detox pathway, guess what that means? Toxins can't get out. Now there's 3 ways that toxins get out of the body. And so understand that all of these detox pathways should be clear. Now you can still operate, your liver will still do its job if not all of them are clear and some of them are blocked. But the bottom line is you work better when they're all clear. And what happens is the liver then excretes them from the body in 3 ways: through the skin, through urine, and through the feces. So imagine, like, you ever see people, they have like spots on their skin and those are age spots, or those are liver spots. Okay, so bottom line is that they're not really age spots, they are liver spots. And it is your liver trying to dump stuff out. So that's a nice sign that you might need to do a purification program. And then also the urine and the feces, also important detox pathways for the liver to be healthy. So these are the kinds of things that contribute to our toxic load in our body. And as you can see, it's probably all the things that you really enjoy. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's the bottom line. These are probably the things that you enjoy. So these are ways that we can get toxins in our body, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what that looks like. But part of our toxins are also contributed to that toxic load through diet. Now, let's explain why that is. So you may not know this, but in the United States, they actually allow more than 3,000 chemicals to be added to our foods. That's true. Now, some of you are going to say, well, that's because they need to be preserved and, they need to be able to sit on the shelf for 5 years. That's a very good point. And that is the reason for usually for the chemicals to be added. But the bottom line is it doesn't mean that that's the best thing for you to be eating all the time. And can you believe this? The average American consumes 75 pounds of sugar a year. Now, I bet you're thinking this, but I don't eat, 5 candy bars a day or whatever 75 pounds of sugar might actually look like. Well, you know what? It doesn't have to be sugar. It doesn't have to be the candy bar. It doesn't have to be you sitting there, sucking down the white packets of sugar packets, right? Look at this picture here. You're going to see the Cokes. You're going to see the French fries. You're going to see the burgers, the breads. Those things turn into sugar. We call those carbohydrates. And those turn into sugar. And that's where your 75 pounds of sugar annually that you're consuming is coming from. Now, this is a fascinating study. Now, these next 3 trends I'm going to show you are super important for you to watch. This is the Behavioral Risk Factor Surveillance System. It's the nation's premier system of health-related telephone surveys. And they collect state data by US residents regarding a few things, health-related risk behaviors, chronic health conditions, things like that. So now up here you see the asterisk, okay, it says BMI. So that's your body mass index. So if you don't know what that is, that's a value that's derived from, you know, the mass and the height of a person. So there's a specific formula. It's divided by, you know, they look at the height and your weight, and they come up with your body mass index. So as I look here at my own state of Texas, I'm not proud to see it's pink. And bottom line is, this is a 1990 picture of the U.S. So wait till you see where we're going. But look at that, 10 to 14% of residents in the state of Texas were 30 pounds or more overweight. 30 pounds or more overweight. Now, we're not the only state. There's quite a few others. But I wanted to point that out to you. Now, look what happened in the year 2000, right? So now I'm excited that my state's not pink, right? No. Texas moved to tan. Okay, so now what we've said is where we used to be at 14%, roughly 30 pounds overweight, well, now we've made it to greater than 20% of Texans. Or, again, pick out your state. And what percentage of overweight people, 30 pounds overweight or more, that was part of this census study. And now 2009, now looky there, 25 to 29% in my state, so I might be changing colors each graphic here, but it's getting worse. And so actually look at how many states back at that time frame were greater than 30 pounds overweight. That is a staggering statistic. So one of the things that you're going to get at the end of this presentation is a toxicity questionnaire. You can find that on my website, though. You can actually be doing that now if you choose while you're listening. You can find it if you go to accesscompletewellness.com. That's accesscompletewellness.com. Go on the search bar and just type in the word toxicity, and the toxicity questionnaire will pop right up for you. And so this is about you being honest with yourself, though. You answer these questions honestly. You do not have to turn it into me. I'm not the toxicity police. You answer this for yourself, and you let your own body tell you if you're toxic or not. But offering that to you, just want you to have that as a free tool that you can utilize on your very own. So you might be wondering, well, gosh, can I really do something in 21 days? Golly gee, yes, you can. And there's a lot that can be done in just 21 days. This program was specifically to address toxins and basically help you have more energy, definitely improve your digestion. But you know what? What came out of it as a byproduct was healthier weight and also just an overall healthier lifestyle. So important for you to understand that there are a lot of benefits in what can happen in just 3 weeks. I am so confident in what can happen in just 3 weeks. I would actually encourage you to take blood work before and after. And here's the kind of thing that you're looking for. This program, we're going to talk about that. Well, I'll just go to the next slide now, actually. This program has proven that it can do a tremendous service to people who maybe have cholesterol concerns, blood pressure concerns, weight concerns, also sugar processing concerns. Maybe your blood sugar is off. This program, seriously, in 21 days, can do a tremendous amount to turn that around. Now, you will have some experts, maybe your medical doctor may tell you, you can't change the blood that quick, and that I don't agree with that. So just going to invite you to go to this particular Journal of Chiropractic Medicine research study, or stay on my website, accesscompletewellness.com, and search down on the resources, you're going to see evidence-based research that supports this program. And I have had some of my clients tell me that in 21 days, they did the before and after blood work, and their doctor said, "What did you do?" Not in a bad way. The doctor was fascinated with what they did. I have another lady that I worked with. She had a history. Now, she was only in her mid 40s at the most. She had a history in her family history of arthritic joints and joint pain. So she just thought that was a way of life. That was what was expected. In 21 days after completing this program, she didn't have joint pain anymore. It's an amazing story. I'm so proud of her and so excited about her results. Well, let's talk about what the program is, right? The purification products. There are 4 per se that you will be utilizing. One of them, it's an either or scenario. So one is the SP Cleanse products. That's the purification part. Another one is SP Complete or SP Complete Dairy Free. So that's our dairy free option. If you're a dairy free person, we've got an awesome option for you. Then you choose a fiber support. Now you're either going to choose gastrofiber, which is pills. We'll talk about that momentarily. Or you're going to choose whole food fiber, which is powder that you put in your smoothie. It boils down to what's your preference. You want to mix it once in your smoothie and be done, or you want to take the gastrofiber pills. Number one thing with this, you definitely want to drink plenty of water with either of these fibers. And then the last part is SP Green Food. And that's where we put the nutrients back in the body and make sure the body's getting what it needs to boost that energy. So the first one, SP Cleanse, this, and I got to tell you, when you read the ingredients on some of these things, and you're going to see it in a second, it's like food you can pronounce. It's like not long names of something you've never heard of. Years ago when I was a kid and I'd have to sit through boring 60 minutes with my parents because, I was a kid, I wanted to watch something more fun. And my parents they'd watch it. And I remember this guy named Andy Rooney, and he did this show one time where he was telling you all the big long names of the ingredients in your cookie that you bought at the store, the cookie from, packaged cookies. And I was a bit depressed because those were big long names and I didn't know how to pronounce them. And there was no way I was going to, enjoy that cookie anymore after that. So this Cleanse particular product helps with the kidney, liver, gallbladder. It supports the whole elimination process. I've already explained how important that is. And that's what this one's going to do for you. Now look at these ingredients. Isn't this just absolutely phenomenal? So, we talked about a few things like edema, and one of the, juniper berry, right? That's going to be something that supports making sure proper fluid levels in the body. And how about cleansing the blood? We talked about the importance of the kidney, right? We've got apopectin for that fiber function, and then burdock root for the kidney function. But then we bring in something like barley grass, and that's going to give you some of the phytonutrients during the cleanse process. As we're cleaning out yucky stuff, we're bringing in some good things. And then, of course, we've got a few other things for detoxifying the liver, and then really important, detoxifying the bowel, immune system, and skin health. Yes, for those of you interested in skin health, Oregon grape root, very good product in here. And then remember we talked about, wow, if you could do your blood work before and after, well, we've got that cholesterol metabolizer. We've got a few products, a few ingredients like that. Now we've got the SP Complete or the dairy free. Now I'm going to tell you right now, there's also chocolate. Yeah. Yep. Chocolate's good. Vanilla. Also, vanilla is good. So you need to know there are options. So at the end, when I share with you the special for only the people that are on this webinar, you're going to realize that there are a lot of different options to choose from. We're going to send you a form when this webinar is over as a registrant of this webinar, and it'll give you the opportunity to see all the options, and you'll get to see the, the pricing. The options of the pricing is a little different based on what you choose. But important, with this, you're getting complete nutrition. That's the point behind it. Eliminating toxins, but things to maintain healthy weight. support the intestines, support the immune system, antioxidant activity. It's all there for you. Some of the key ingredients, remember we talked about the dairy-free option. So, we got the right rice protein for you, but these are going to be the building blocks in SP Complete to help support, healthy tissue maintenance and things like that. And then also it lays out the fiber support, the rice, the buckwheat, the flax, all as part of that healthy elimination process. And of course, the alfalfa. Can't miss that one. All these necessary for that process. And then we ought to make sure we get the proper, minerals and vitamins in here as well. So we've got, calcium and magnesium mixed in there for the teeth and bones. I love this one, grapeseed and red wine extract. Now, isn't that awesome? Yes. It's got the OPCs in there. And this is important for cardiovascular support. And then I want you to see that one, and then I want you to see the next two. I want to talk about three of these almost together. So we have buckwheat. Now, you might be thinking buckwheat pancakes, and I'm just going to let you know this is the closest you're going to get to buckwheat pancakes in the 21-day program because it's going to be in your smoothie. So it's going to be like a smoothie pancake or pancake smoothie, I should say. But that helps with blood vessel walls, and that's really important. Because I have a colleague who does a lot of work with the vascular system, and why this is so important is because a lot of people don't realize that the health of their veins is so important because it can lead to vascular disease. It can lead to throwing off clots. It can lead to vascular dementia. Right? I mean, people don't understand how this all plays together, and that's the picture I'm trying to paint for you. Is that it all connects, and it can lead to strokes. And honestly, 80% of strokes are preventable. So, we've got actually a program in our office that's called Brain Span. You can go to our website, accesscompletewellness.com, and search on Brain Span, and or look up Access Brain Health, and you'll see our Brain Span program where we actually help you make sure that your stroke resiliency is there, your concussion resiliency, all those kind of things for vascular health. And then this choline inositol, awesome products for calming, very calming to the nervous system. So that's one of the reasons that's such an important program. And then the green food. I love the green food because, if you don't like greens, well, this is for you because you don't have to. Obviously we'd like you to eat more greens and that would be ideal for this program, and we'll show you that momentarily. But bottom line is, this is kind of like giving you the greens that maybe you don't really want to eat. And I like this product for this reason. It reminds me of the old Warner Brothers cartoon. And I think it was like Bugs Bunny, and he might have been like going off into space or something there. And he was given a, astronaut capsule. And he opened the astronaut capsule and boop, 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 and it turned into, a 5-course meal. Well, that's what SP Green Food is like. You're getting all these tremendous nutrients and not having to necessarily eat them. Just take the capsule, right? So Brussels sprouts and kale, maybe that's not your favorite food. It didn't used to be for me. I absolutely enjoy these kind of foods now. My body's learned how important they are. And then here we go. We've got our buckwheat again. Again, that's great for helping with muscle mass and just giving the body the nutrients it needs to get through a day. And then we can't forget these last two. Awesome for the barley grass and helping to give you minerals. But then check out that alfalfa. Remember we talked about the liver? And we said the liver was going to get rid of things in a couple of ways. It was going to rid the body of toxins through the feces, through the skin, and through the urine. So that's where this is coming from, right? This alfalfa, this is supporting the bladder, right? Get it? That's where the urine would be coming from. So I wanted you to see how this all plays together for your overall health. Now, the next one we've got is our gastrofiber or our whole food fiber. Now, you do not take both of these. You do one or the other. You pick one or the other. That's it. You don't do two. And this is because you don't want to be going too much. This is encouraging regular elimination. So if you're good with the pills, we'll talk about the dosages momentarily. The gastrofiber is a great way to go, but got to tell you, you got to be drinking water during this program. We're going to provide you in the program almost a 60-page guide with recipes and all kinds of things in it. And that is something that they encourage in there, drinking plenty of water. So I prefer the formula. You take your body weight, you divide it by 2, and that's how many ounces a day your body requires. So an absolutely phenomenal product here. And then whole food fiber. Now that happens to be my personal favorite. I put a tablespoon of that in my smoothie, and I'm good to go for the day, literally, right? And that's the one that's made with beets. I mean, that's, got some amazing whole foods in it. Now, there are some supportive products. Now, these are not per se part of the 21-day purification program kit. However, it doesn't mean they aren't important. It just means depending on individual needs, somebody may need a little bit more support in the cleanse process than someone else. So, the whey protein complete is just for someone who might want extra protein in the picture. We highly, highly, highly encourage the use of omega-3s for your actual cleanse program because we're not getting enough omega-3s. So if you don't have omega-3s already in your home ready to use for this, we're going to send out an order form, and in that you'll be able to identify which additional products you might need. Gymnema, this is for the person who craves sugar, craves candy, craves pasta, craves bread, craves potato chips, craves carbs, right? That's what the Gymnema is about. If you have any of those cravings, put this on your list. When you get the order form, just check yes, because you're going to want to have this support. I want you to be successful in 21 days. I mean, do you really want to do this again? No. 21 days. It's an awesome, awesome advantage to have Gymnema. Pro-symbiotic, that's to help you with your gut microbiome. If you've ever taken a lot of antibiotics, you're probably going to need that kind of support in the program. And then this last one, our B6, this one's going to be helping with that skin, nerve tissue regeneration, different things like that. So here's where the journey begins, right? So it's the days 1 through 10, this is essentially what you're going to be eating throughout the cleanse program. We highly encourage high quality oils. I cannot stress that enough. You're going to get all kinds of support that's going to tell you the foods to eat, the foods to stay away from. This is just a shortened list. But when I mean high quality oils, I mean not having margarine, but I do mean things having like butter, right? Or avocado oil or olive oil. And then of course, exercising. If you're trying to lose weight with this program, you want to be exercising 30 to 45 minutes, 4 days a week. And also, if you're trying to lose weight, you want to do twice as many vegetables as you would fruit. Super important. And then for those of you who maybe have some blood sugar control issues, this program is still very good for you. What I would highly recommend though is that you stick with berries as your fruits, blueberries, raspberries, those kind of berries. That will work out really, really well for you. And then when you get to days 11 to 21, you get to have all the same stuff as above, but now you get to introduce special fish, lean meat like turkey. And we actually don't usually encourage eggs. We don't encourage chicken. People have a lot of allergies to those kind of things. And what we're trying to do is give your body a break during this 21-day program. And we don't want to introduce any inflammatory foods. But post cleanse, we have information on how to reintroduce foods that you haven't been on, so you can actually determine, wow, maybe that milk I was drinking really doesn't do good for me. And you start to realize how sluggish you feel again on it, because you're going to have some energy changes when you do this program, and it's a wonderful thing. So here's a list of the things to avoid. And I know this doesn't make you happy, but let me give you some tips. This is super important. So one thing is margarine. You know, that's just not good for you. One periodic element on the periodic table away from formaldehyde, right? So butter, we like butter. Butter's a great thing on this program. And you will have some phenomenal recipes that will be made available to you, and shopping lists, the whole thing. And you'll get to see the importance of that we have some recipes where we use butter, and it's so exciting. Caffeine, let's talk about that. Of course, you know, you want to avoid that and alcohol. But when we talk about caffeine, let me say one thing that you could have. You could have organic green tea. So that does have caffeine in it, but organic green tea is actually not a bad choice for this program. But regular tea, not so good. And you could have some herbal teas. Those are also positive because they are caffeine free usually. So you want to stay away from caffeine. So what if you're a coffee drinker? Oh, okay. Let's talk that through. So let's say you are a person who's had 1 cup of coffee a day for 35 years. So before you start the cleanse, what you're going to want to do is start to wean yourself off coffee. That will make the process go easier. So I'm going to encourage you to, if you drink 1 cup of coffee a day, that about 5 days out from the cleanse start date, you take the 1 cup, and the next day you drink a half a cup. And then the day after you drink a half of that half a cup. And then the day after, and you keep cutting, you know, the volume that you're drinking in half. So that by the time you get to day 5 or the day the cleanse starts, you're hardly having any caffeine in the picture. And then that way when the cleanse starts, you can eliminate it. So just want to make sure that we're clear on a couple of those suggestions. You are also, man, what an amazing package we've put together. We're going to actually give you all opportunity to have a 21-day purification email support and a support specialist available to you through this program as well. So cannot tell you how excited I am about all the tools that are available. So let's see exactly what this looks like. So days 1 through 7, right, we talked about the foods now, right? So you're not just eating those foods, you're also doing these supplements, okay? And you're not just doing these supplements, you're also getting to eat food. So you get to eat a lot, you know, of the right foods. So you're going to get to do 2 to 3 SP complete shakes or dairy-free shakes a day. We've got smoothie recipes. They are so good. Lots of options. You can see them, how pretty they are here on the slide. Then you're also going to be doing the first 7 days, the cleanse capsules. You're going to do 7 cleanse capsules 3 times a day. So you're going to go through the whole bottle in a week. Now hear this. On day 8, you're going to have 2 cleanse pills left. Just take them in the morning. Just take them and then throw the bottle out, and then you'll feel like you accomplished a great thing, right? So that's how it works. The first 7 days, you're cleansing. We're cleaning out the body while we're doing some other things. Now, then you get to decide, do you want the gastrofiber or the whole food fiber? And you're going to make that decision on the order form. Again, one of the things I shared is that the gastrofiber are capsules. So you're going to take 3 times a day throughout the cleanse. Okay, so that's super important. Then, or you can do whole food fiber, which is a tablespoon of a powder. And that powder goes directly in your smoothie or these SP complete shakes. So the choice is yours, and the choice is yours at the time you order. So one of the things you're going to do is you're going to pick out, okay, what flavor SP complete do I want, or do I want dairy free? And then am I going to go with the gastrofiber, or am I going to go with the whole food fiber? And so, and the pricing is a little bit different on the different options, which is why I can't do all the pricing here. You'll see it on the form that we've made available to you. Now, days 8 through 21. That's when you're going to take the SP green food. Remember the little Bugs Bunny capsule I told you about with all your greens in it? Okay, so that you're going to take 2 times a day in place of the SP cleanse. Now, except, what did I just tell you? On day 8, you're going to have 2 SP cleanse pills left over. Just take them in the morning. Okay, take them when you wake up, be done with it. And then start the 5 SP green food capsules 2 times a day. And you're going to really start to see an incredible amount of change and transformation starting to go on with your body. So important, we want to purify your body. We want to transform your life. One of the things that we're going to make available to you is the 1 Degree of Change Purification Program Guide. We are going to send you the link so you can download a copy of that book. So again, all part of our free options here to help you be as successful as possible. Now, for those of you that are interested in moving forward with the cleanse and the purification program, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the details in a few more slides on what that's going to look like and the special, super special that we are offering. I've never done this big a special before, so you're going to have an opportunity to check that out. Before, though, we get to that, let me talk to you about our next webinar. It's going to be August 8th, 8 p.m. Central. If you can't make that time frame, here's what you need to know. You should register anyway, and you will get the free playback of that recorded webinar with all of the resources that were used to create it. Okay? So please know that even if that time doesn't work for you, maybe you're on vacation, register anyway, you will get the playback. That is an awesome opportunity, this webinar. So, and by the way, don't be afraid to invite your friends to this and any of our webinars. All of these are available on our website once the classes are complete, but it's really a nice opportunity for them to access the free portal to be part of the live class. Now, this emotional vocabulary one, this is really interesting. It's about being able to adequately express yourself and your feelings, because that's really critical and crucial in communicating effectively with other people. So one of the benefits of having an effective emotional vocabulary is actually being able to assess your own emotions and to better understand your own feelings. So the second benefit of using specific words to label and identify emotions, in being able to better communicate and understand with those that you're interacting with as well. So, emotions are part of human nature. So if you want to improve your relationships and your interactions with other humans, it's beneficial to strengthen your emotional intelligence, which is why I'm encouraging you to invite your friends to this webinar as well, so you all can communicate with each other effectively. Now, boy, is this exciting. First time. 3 Pillars Strong, offered here in the Plano, Texas area. This training is on the 3 pillars of performance: movement, balance, and vision. And movement, that's expected in any training program, right? But with movement training, it's also important to have intentional vision and balance training. They're all necessary. I mean, this is the latest in neuroscience, guys, so I'm not making this up. So unlike other programs, we purposefully are incorporating balance and vision training together. They're 2 crucial elements of the 3 Pillars Strong program, and it's done in every session of the training. So you're getting all 3, movement, balance, and vision, all in the same program. And so as a result, your brain, basically, it integrates the three systems or these three pillars, and you're going to get unrealized progress like you've never seen before. And without the vision and the balance training, it's like taking two tires off a tricycle. Like, you know, where are you going to go or how are you going to get there with some of those wheels missing? So, you know, and bottom line is this: how do we know you're going to get results? I'm going to tell you. You know, we, first of all, we expect you to get results, but secondly, the unique thing about this course is the assessing and the reassessing process that ensures that you're getting an individualized approach, individualized training, individualized results. Even if you're in a classroom with other people, it's all about you getting your own unique training program that works best for you. So, you know, you're going to learn how to assess and reassess in your training session, to learn how your brain and your body respond to each of the drills. That's very cool. So hurry up, because this class is almost full. There is a 30% off pricing. That's right, 30% off. It ends July 17th. So you can learn more about this. Go to our accesscompletewellness.com/upcoming-events, or again, our homepage, accesscompletewellness.com. Just scroll all the way down and you will see the latest upcoming events that we have to offer. And we know you're going to find something in there that piques your interest. So I want to thank you so much for being part of our program. Thank you for learning. And we look forward to seeing you on the next webinar. Thank you.